Today we're going to go over some ways that you can help your business run smoothly through deposits, loans, and then different services through cash management and some other areas we offer at the bank. So the first thing we're going to go over is commercial deposits. So we offer two main types of checking accounts here at the bank, and our first one is a basic business checking account. Most of our businesses usually choose this one. If you're not going to have a lot of activity in your account, this is your best option for us to put you in. And then the second account is your business analysis checking account. It has more of a earnings credit worked into it. So if you have a lot of high activity, you earn credit back to offset the service charges to the accounts. It is based off your T-bill rate. So right now that rate is a little higher with prime being a little higher. So they're offsetting that with the bigger rate right now. We also have a business prime account, which is it's also a checking account, but it's set up to earn you interest. It is based off a percentage of Wall Street Journal prime. So right now that percent is a little higher, also with prime being higher. It is limited to 6 debit transactions per cycle. In-person debits are treated a little differently, so you do have some leeway with those. If you came into the branch and made a withdrawal or transaction, that would not count towards your 6 debits. So there's a little way to work around that and still earn you some interest. We also have business sweeps, and this helps at the end of the day in processing. We can sweep your excess money into this prime account so that it's automatically earning you more interest overnight, and you don't have to worry about those transfers. We do it for you each night. And then Andrea's going to go over this part with y'all.
Hey, I'm Andrea Roberg. I'm over the commercial services with Exchange Bank. And so we're going to show you how some of the services that we offer can actually improve your business. And it may be things that you use, it may be things that you haven't thought about using. Okay, first we offer online banking, and online banking is free. It's got quick account balances, transfer funds electronically between your accounts with us. You can pay your bills online on fixed recurring one-time schedules. You can download your account histories to Money, Quicken, and other financial management software. We have Notify Me alerts. On those Notify Me alerts, you can actually set what you want those alerts to be. It can let you know if you've got certain checks that are clearing that day that you've been waiting to see if it cleared. It can be that whatever you set your balance to, if your balance gets below a certain amount, it'll notify you. It'll notify you if you have transactions over a certain amount. It's just a good little tool to use just to keep up with what's going on in your account. We also have mobile deposits, and on that mobile deposits, that would be the same kind of that basically a consumer uses. You would actually go in on our mobile banking, and you'd take a picture of the check and you would send it to us that way. Okay, and then cash management, this is a service that you have to ask for and get approved for. There is cost associated with it, and that is ACH origination, credit, and debit. With this, you can do like direct deposit payroll, pre-authorized payments, cash concentration, and electronic tax payment services. And I'm gonna go get into a little bit more depth with all that. So everybody knows what direct deposit payroll is. Basically, you would get set up for this. You would then get authorizations from your employees allowing them to credit their account for their payroll. And then you would actually submit that to us through a module on internet banking. On this, there's a lot of benefits to the employers. There's also benefits to the employees. Some of the benefits to the employers are you have a reduced risk of fraud or counterfeit checks and lost or stolen checks. Right now we are seeing a ton of fraudulent checks, a lot of counterfeit checks. If you don't have the checks in circulation, fraudsters will not be able to get your account information. They will not be able then to, in turn, create false checks with your information. The potential for errors are reduced because direct deposit requires less manual handling than a check. Now, one of the ways that a lot of people, when they do their payroll in-house, they actually have a software system that calculates that information for them. They can, in turn, with their software program, they can create a file from there which they just import into our system. It would have the account information in there, and you would not have to, after the first time you set it up in your system, you won't have to change that account information again until they have a change. So it's not like you're going to be going in and entering all this account information each time. Basically, it can be as simple as importing a file into our system and hitting approve. There's a timely payments even when employees are away. So they don't have to, you don't have to have your employees come in. Basically, they just, whenever you say the effective date is, that's the date that they will receive their payment in their checking account. Reduced bookkeeping. One single transaction for total amount of payroll file is listed on the account, which makes it easier to balance. So for bookkeepers, they don't have to go and wait and see when those checks are clearing. It's one lump sum amount, and when that hits the account, basically, that's it. No more balance in that account. Your payroll is paid. The online transaction reports are available immediately, and those reports are out there for 2 years. So if you go back in and you want to see what you did on a payroll from a year ago, you will be able to see it very easily by pulling a report. There's cost savings because there's fewer checks used, less items for account fees, less stop payment or lost check fees, less employee time spent cashing checks on employers' time. And we do actually have people who've signed up for this just because they have people that were using their company time to go to the bank and deposit their checks. Basically, it can be used as an employee benefit by splitting payroll into multiple accounts, including savings accounts. So if you're an employer and you want to give your employee a perk, you can say, we can do direct deposit payroll. We'll help you actually put some money in savings account. $50 each payroll can go into a savings account for you. You don't have to wait for additional signers to sign checks. A lot of times, especially if you're a nonprofit or anything like that, things require 2 signatures on a check. On this system, we can do dual control, where one person enters the information and another person at another location can go in and approve the transaction. So you do not have to wait for that second person to come in and sign checks. Okay, no, so this is the direct deposit benefits for employees. They have earlier access to payroll than check because funds are available in the account the morning of the effective date. They don't have to wait, come in, get the check, take the check to the bank, or do a mobile deposit. Basically, that morning, when the effective date, that money is sitting in their account. There's no extra trips to the office to pick up a check if they are out of town or not working. There's no trips to the bank to make the deposit. Payments are never lost, stolen, delayed in the mail, and payments are never replaced. And we see this a lot of times where an employee may actually misplace their check. Then you have to go do a stop payment on the check, issue another check. You won't have to do that with direct deposit. Okay, and so another thing we do is we do the direct payments, which are pre-authorized payments. So that is collecting ACH payments by withdrawing money directly from your customer's bank account. It can speed up your accounts receivable and improve your cash flow by ensuring you get payments in a timely manner. The businesses that benefit the most by using direct debits, health, fitness, and exercise centers, basically any kind of membership services, daycare, child care facilities, landlords, property management companies, and utility companies. So if you've got your water bill that's automatically debited from your account, the company that you're using is using a direct payment. Then we also have cash concentration. And that is where is a way to centralize funds for multiple business accounts at different banks through ACH origination. The money can be moved in and out of the accounts, so it's both ways. It can eliminate and reduce idle balances in either accounts somewhere else. So that would be if a business has multiple locations and they have to have a local bank closer to their business, but they want to use a centralized bank for most of their activity, then basically they just go in and they have that set up where they can go in and just move money back and forth between those accounts at our bank and other banks. Okay, also part of this is check positive pay. As I said before, we're seeing a lot of check fraud going on right now. A lot of checks are being misplaced once they are getting mailed, and somehow fraudsters are getting hold of those, and then they're either making counterfeit copies of those checks, or they could be actually taking it and just taking the check, washing it, where they take change the name of the check, the payee on the check, and then present it at a bank for their own deposit. What check positive pay does is it can help identify and report those fraudulent and unauthorized payments. So what a customer would go and they would upload an issued check file into internet banking. Most of the time, if you have a software system that actually prints the checks for you, that software system is actually keeping track of those checks anyway, and so it can create that file for you that you just imported in. If it's not, and you don't have a lot of checks, you can actually go in and hand key those in. So once those checks clear, the system will look for discrepancies between the issued check file and the checks that are posted. So it's going to look at the check number, the amount, and the date. If any of those are different from the check file that you issued, it's going to be flagged and a report's generated. And then you get that report, and then the customer decides whether or not to pay or return the check. And that just speeds it up. You still have some time if you don't use check positive pay, but a lot of times the quicker you can catch this fraud, you can put a stop to it. You don't have to deal with more checks coming in. So if you're waiting until the end of the month to balance your check and all of a sudden you're seeing some odd thing, it could be 20 days down the road and they could actually have more transactions out there. And then also we have people that contact us because they mailed the check, but they didn't get credit for the check. So the company calls them and we haven't received your payment. And they're like, well, yes, you have. It's cleared. Here it shows right here it's cleared. Well, what they've done is they've actually altered the check. So this just helps catch that. We also have remote deposit capture. It is part of the commercial services, but not part of the cash management. Commercial services also includes just any kind of services that we can provide our customers. And remote deposit capture is where we actually bring the bank to you. You actually have a scanner set up at your business, and you can actually scan the checks yourself. It's very similar if you ever go to the bank branch, see the tellers go and put the checks in their scanners to process. You're going to be doing that, but you're going to be doing it at your location. That is better, even though we do offer the mobile deposit, this is better if you have a higher deposit amount or if you've got multiple checks that you have to process. So this, you can make deposits anytime. It saves time preparing deposits. You can consolidate your funds from remote locations into one account. So, you can actually have, we've got some that have remote deposit capture and they're in another county, even another state. And they can actually just go ahead, scan the checks, and it deposits at our bank locally. And so that way, if it's a company that's got multiple locations, they can just use our checking account for anything. They don't have to use multiple banks. It can cut costly courier fees or trips to the bank, and it reduces the risk of check fraud. Okay. We also have business wires, where everybody's probably familiar with them sending wires, but you can send and receive money. We have coin machines, and those coin machines are available at the Gadsden, Rainbow City, and Altoona offices. And then we have 24-hour depositories, and that helps reduce liability. It's convenient after-hours depository services. And that would be where, at the end of the day, if it's, after the bank is closed, but you don't want to keep your deposit sitting until you can actually go to the bank to deposit it, you just bring it in. You can use our drop box, and you can leave it in the drop box for us to process that deposit the next morning. Okay, and that's commercial services.
So we recently have revamped a couple of our business accounts, and we are going to run some specials between September and January of next year. So we want to try to help people get their business account switched over if that's something that they're interested in doing. And we will help you see which account best fits you. We will do a complimentary business analysis thing so we can analyze the last 3 or 4 months of your bank statement to see if the analysis account will benefit you or if the basic business would be a better fit. We will also assist you in getting, direct deposit switched over or whatever needs, to get your account up and running. We're going to offer your first order of checks free, and then no account fees for your first 3 cycles. And then we're offering a free safe box. So that might be a good benefit if you're a business that doesn't have somewhere to keep your, documents that you might need or just anything else that might need to be in safekeeping. So that would be 1 year free, and our payments run from October to October, so that would be the next time that a payment would be due. We also offer commercial loans, and we have several commercial loan officers at the bank as well as loan officers in each of our locations that can help you if your business is in need of a loan. We have several different options. We have just your basic term loan that you could use for real estate, or if you were purchasing a vehicle for your company or piece of equipment, anything along those lines. We also have lines of credit that are good if you need a line of working capital, if you need to be able to purchase things at different times throughout the year, and then you could turn around and pay the line of credit down, and then it's there for you to use when you need it. If you are a business that's looking at building a location or building something, storage units or anything along those lines, we have construction loans that would be able to help you in those. Then we also have the ability to work with the SBA to do SBA loans, where we can get in touch with the right people to get us started on SBA loans. And then there are a couple of other things are the business line of credits, overdraft line of credits that are set up as a sweep in the event that you need to use that. And we also offer business credit cards that are a great way to, if you have employees that need money, if you're going to send them out to do things, we can have a master file, and then we can control your users and have those set up for your employees. So if they have expenses, they can use those credit cards. And they're real easy because you would talk to Andrea or one of the ladies in the credit card department at the bank, and that's a benefit so that you don't have to call and get on an 800 number and not know if you're going to get in touch with anybody. Do y'all have any questions for us today?